What's up? And thank you for coming to my YouTube channel to understand your camera better. Now, this is specifically talking about photography. When we're talking about ISO, which, let's say this real quick, the golden triangle of photography deals with ISO, shutter speed, and f-stop, which is also called aperture. So on my camera, on the very bottom of the screen, as I'm taking photos, I can look and see what my f-stop is currently set to. When you're looking at f-stop, you're looking at aperture. And we'll discuss what that means in a second. ISO, what does it do? Well, in short, it makes your photos sharp and clear, or grainy, or noisy is another term that's used. What is it actually doing? Well, when you have a low ISO number, it's making your camera sensor less sensitive to light. Now, when you have a higher ISO number, it's making it more sensitive to light. Now, depending on your artistic tastes and what you're trying to do with your pictures, this could be beneficial for you or not. For me, I do a lot of portraits, so I usually keep my ISO low. Shoot from around 100 to 800, depending on the situation, what lens I'm using, what settings I have to deal with. It just really depends on what's going on in the portraits. But for the most part, I usually try to keep it around 100 to 800. That gives me typically pretty sharp photos. The higher the number goes, you start getting a lot of noise. When we're talking about shutter speed, it causes motion blur. Your subject is moving. If you have a slower shutter speed, you're gonna have more motion blur. For sports, I usually shoot around 1/1000th of a second for sports photography. And then for like portraits, I usually can get away with 100 to 250, depending on what's going on. Then you have your f-stop or your aperture. Now, what your aperture is gonna do is it's going to let more light in or let less light in. If your f-stop is low, a low number, that means it's letting more light in. If it's a higher number, that means it's letting less light in. What it does to the photo, if your f-stop number is lower and it's letting more light in, you're going to have more of a blur effect depending on where you are focusing in the image. Say you're taking a portrait, the camera focused on your subject. What's going to happen is the background behind that subject is going to be out of focus. And it's going to create this kind of creamy, blended look. If you go up with your f-stop, it's going to put more things in focus. Now this can be a great effect if you're doing something maybe like landscape photography. Now some other terms you may hear about background blur is the bokeh effect. Lots of people typically use bokeh in the photography world. Just know they're talking about that background blur. So that's it. You have your ISO, shutter speed, and f-stop. So happy shooting and keep capturing those beautiful moments. And if you want to help me out, give me a like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any other updates. Thanks for watching.